else will go? What else are you seeing that's shifting? Okay, those are all really unbelievable observances of the market that's going on right now. Okay. And the cool thing is that you do have the option of being able to navigate through this market, but it takes a different strategy. It takes a different strategy to think about things differently. So I'm going to give you some stats here. Now, I did not have access to, I don't have access to anything but Southwest Florida, guys. So if you're in another market, pull your data, but something tells me it's going to be similar. All right. So I went in and I looked at the data for Southwest Florida for December, and December in 2022, based on NABOR stats, and NABOR only had until the end of December. In December, the inventory has continued to drop even lower than compared to December of 2020, December 2021 to December 2020. Okay, so it's even lower in 21. The sales, the number of sales have dropped even lower. But guess what went up? Guess what went up? Median price, right? So I said, okay, well, the stats weren't out yet for January. So I did something very simple. NABOR will go more deep, but I did something very simple. I just went into our MLS system and I said, for all of Southwest Florida, how many closings were there January 1 to January 31st last year in 2021? So 2021, we're a year in the pandemic. You know, we've got vaccinations coming out, all of that happening. In 2021, there were 3,306 closings in Southwest Florida. Now, again, I believe that those of you that are watching in the Northeast and the Midwest, if you pull your data, you're probably going to find something similar because this is nationwide, right? Here's the interesting thing. So just closings, that's all I pulled. Closings, all of Southwest Florida. Then I searched closings, all of Southwest Florida for January 2022, all of January, 2,687. Closings were down almost 700 units. Now, I don't know how to interpret that, and yet I think we can all make some assumptions. And what would that be? If in 2020 for 2021, closings were at 3,306, but in 2022 January, they're at 2,687. What can you discern from those numbers? What does that tell you just at a first blush? You are now an advisor. And if you are going to live in the land of the listings, which is where freedom lies, okay, you get time back and you get freedom when you own the listings, then your job is to become an advisor to your sellers. How much equity do you have in your home? What are your 5-year plans? Okay. Do you want to take advantage of a low interest rate market? Guys, it's still low. Okay. It's still low. When I got in the business, it was 10%. 10.2, I think, the year I got in the business. Okay. It's still low. The other thing is that how do you help your seller see a path? So as a realtor, your job is to be educated on investor and passive side income. Because when you're educated on that, you can be an advisor to your client. What Matt's talking about, Matt actually also owns a property management company. So he's an investor. He understands that investment side. So when you can understand that piece of it, you can become an advisor to your seller on what it would mean for them to get to be able to hang on to their current home, pull the equity out of it, and actually go to something else. Now, here's the second thing you've got to understand. How do they do that? How do they do that? Gone are the days of, hey, let me just connect you with my mortgage person, because your mortgage person may not have the program. So who has the program that can do it? I don't know if any of you have heard of knock.com, but Knock is awesome. Go check it out. Hopefully your office subscribes to Knock. I know that at KW Naples, we do get certified as a knock, and as a knock agent, and you can help your seller get into their new home without making a contingent offer. Knock will give them the money. I mean, it's awesome. So there are a lot of ways. There's creative ways to get your seller from point A to point B. Do you know the ways? Are you confident that on a scale of 1 to 10, you understand how to advise your client? So that's how we move the seller from A to B. A realtor's job is to get out of the way of the transaction and create avenues for the transaction to happen. And that's how we get sellers to move. Here's another thing, land. A lot of the agents I coach, they are closing land left and right. Now think about it. You've got land, 200, 250, 300,000 for property, at least in Southwest Florida. I know that's happening now, especially out in the estates, Cape Coral, a lot of different areas. Think about how you charge commission on land. In my day, land was a higher commission payout because it's a smaller price. And then you can also work with investors on that land, right? How you can put them together with land purchases. So do you know the mortgages that need to happen to get your seller from point A to point B so that they can either rent, pull the equity out of their current home, and get into that next home at low interest rates? If your seller is frozen because they feel like if they put their home on the market, they're not going to be able to find what they want, then what they're telling you is they feel like if they put their home on the market, it's going to sell like that, right? Is that what they just said to you? Okay. So how much equity do you have in your home? Well, I want to pay cash for my next home with the equity out of this home. Okay, so let's work that out in a mortgage situation so you can do that. Oh, well, then I'll have 2 mortgages. But you just told me that you feel like your home will sell like that. And I've just shown you that it will. Mm-hmm. So your risk is here. And let me give you examples of how this worked out in other folks' favor. And therefore, you can get into a home at a low interest rate and either keep your current home and rent it or sell it once you're in. Then land, go look at land. Land is a great opportunity for right now to match your investors up with your land. And here's the third thing I want to tell you about listings. Here's a quote from Gary. I'd love for you to write this down, because I know we wanted to talk about, I hear a lot of you talking about buyers. Guys, buyers are in a market right now where it's highly competitive, and the higher they go and the more cash they have, the more they're going to get the house that they want. And the more they let go of things like inspections and they take high risk and do stuff like that. From a buyer's perspective, you can be there to advise them, but I think you know what you need to do to get buyers under contract. But here's a cool thing I want to let you know. I actually went back and I said, okay, that's what was going on in January, but let me tell you about what's going on in February. And again, this is Southwest Florida. And I know we're running a little long. I apologize, but you need to hear this. Again, I went into the MLS and I said, okay, how many closings happened from February 1st to February 16th in 2021 or 2021? There were 1,877 closings. And now February 1st to February 16th of 2022, there are 1,151. Yeah. You see what's happening? So the next question you ask yourself is you say, okay, what I did in 2020 will not work in 2021. What I did in 2020 will not work in 2021. We are in a shifting market. And so now you have to look at new ways to figure out how to keep your business moving forward. And those ways are this. 1, become educated on how to help people get mortgages that are going to allow them to get from one home to the next home. Again, I'm not talking about buyers here. You all know that I am passionate about the fact that real estate agents need to focus on listings, because then listings are freedom. Number 2, look at land. Look at land. If you're in an area where there's land opportunities, look at land. Number 3, educate yourself on investing. There is a book called Millionaire Real Estate Agent Investor by Gary Keller. There's also a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Understand investing and understand how you can help your seller increase their portfolio, their real estate portfolio. Third, Gary says it is not that we have too little time to do all the things we need to do. It is that we feel the need to do too many things in the time we have. I'm going to say it again. It is not that we have too little time to do all the things we need to do. It is that we feel the need to do too many things in the time we have. Many of the agents that I'm coaching, that I've coached for years, I've got 7 real estate agents that I've coached for 2 years, and their business has gone from $5, $6, $7 million to they're up to 20, 25 million now. And all of them are paralyzed. Not all of them, many of them are paralyzed because their business used to be 50% listings and 50% buyers. And now they have no listings. And so when I say, well, what are you doing to get listings? They've moved away from what worked 2 years ago because of all of the great and wonderful things that have been going on over the last 2 years, right? I mean, we've had a miracle market. This shift, this downward pressure shows us that it's time to get back to what worked before. You must be in relationship with sellers. You must talk to 5 to 10 potential sellers every single day and add them to your database. You must decide on where you're going to farm and own that farm and talk to those sellers. I was talking with one of my agents that I coached yesterday. There were 21 sales in her neighborhood in Southwest Florida last year, and she got none of them. You guys, that was $400,000 in commission. So are you farming? Are you getting into relationship with sellers? Do they know you? Do they know your name? Are you door knocking? Are you talking with them? Are you calling them on the phone, introducing yourself and letting them know you have buyers? Are you putting them on a drip so you stay in front of them and you create mind share with them? We know that what the NAR, the National Association of Realtors, say that 87% of sellers talk to one person before they list their home. If you are the one person that they talk to in their neighborhood, it's you. It's you. Okay? So now when you're thinking about your business plan, what element do you have in your business plan that is going to allow you to speak directly and create relationship with 5 potential sellers every single day? 5 potential sellers every single day. So I've recorded this program. I'm going to send you all my 1-hour training that I did on farming, along with all of the slides that go along with that. And it's old school farming with new school tactics. And I want to encourage you that this year is your year to change your focus from buyers and buyer leads and all of these things. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You can get buyer leads. You want to have income coming in, use the buyers to have income coming in, but it's time to start to shift your focus to sellers and listings and understanding how to own different areas in your community so that when it comes to someone selling a home, they pick up the phone and they call Astrid. They pick up the phone and they call Sandra. They pick up the phone and they call Kayla. Because most sellers find their agent either through knowing that agent personally or getting a referral from someone else that has used an agent.